Rhaenys is dead. Rhaenys is dead. Rhaenys is dead. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't even shocking. But watching the episode was very stressful. Just the suspense leading up to the dragon battle was palpable. Game of Thrones-esque, I would even say. So spoiler warning, I'm assuming you all have seen the episode. But we got our first dragon versus dragon battle. And it was epic. As expected, when dragons battle each other, there will be dire consequences. And we will dissect these consequences. But first, I want to discuss how we got to this point. Now, I fear I might have underestimated Cole and Amond. Now, we all know Cole and Amond are blood hungry. But it would seem as though their military approach and thinking might actually be an advantage in this war. Put simply, they take action. And dare I say it, their actions make sense. Harrenhal is a mess. I think Daemon's hallucinations are just the tip of the iceberg on how problematic that castle is. So marching on Rook's Rest and baiting Rhaenyra makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're gonna win the war, you're gonna have to take it to the opponent at some point. And in this regard, Cole and Amond seem to not just be thinking with their hearts, but with their mind, showing that they might have the insight, the hunger, and the stamina to go all the way.
But Harrenhal is to the west.
Indeed it is.
But once again, their biggest obstacle is not the strength of their enemy, but the stupidity and immaturity of their leader Aegon. I want to try something. I want you guys to say something nice but valid about Aegon in the comment section, because I can't think of any. This man is so desperate for approval and recognition, it's laughable. I think he might hold an insecurity that he hasn't earned his position. And he's right, he knows nothing. Although, that doesn't have to be a problem. That's the whole point of having advisors, so they can advise you. Although Aegon doesn't seem to get this. So now, he's throwing a tantrum over not being involved in plan making. I don't know what you guys think, but I think if you constring 2 sentences in your ancestral tongue, then you shouldn't even be allowed to make war plans.
Nuke Goston Bivilus Segiton Bilivasni.
I mean, he doesn't even have to look far. His father was the perfect example. Just own your position, trust your advisors, and enjoy being king. But sadly, Aegon thinks a king should know everything. And that will be his death. Maybe sooner rather than later. Now moving over to the Blacks. And it's just as much a mess there, if not worse. The Queen is MIA. Her council is frustrated and war hungry. And Prince Jacaerys just wants to murder someone. In all this, where's our wise, war-experienced king consort? He is in a prison of his own making named Harrenhal. Maybe you guys can show me the sense in this Harrenhal plan, because I just don't see it. Harrenhal will be the death of Daemon. It just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. So what's on the agenda for Daemon right now? He either has to convince Oscar Tully to murder his grandfather, he could side with House Blackwood, or he could just take the Riverlands at Dragon Point. With all this, vivid hallucinations and lapses in time are not helpful. I just don't know how much help Daemon is going to be this season, because it seems like one part of him kinda still wants the Iron Throne, but another part wants to commit to Rhaenyra. All this inner conflict, amplified by the magic of Harrenhal, is really messing with his head. Maybe this Alice Rivers can be of assistance, but I'm not sure about her yet. I'm not sure if she's trying to help him get over his nightly terrors, or she's playing a part in inflicting his nightly terrors. Either way, it's very clear that some sort of relationship is brewing between these two. But that is the least of their problems. That is the least of our problems, because war is coming. So let's set the scene. Cole and his army are marching on Rook's Rest, and to the horror of Sir Gawain Hightower, Cole wishes to attack in broad daylight. If this was anyone else, I would have immediately suspected that a ruse is afoot. But because it's Criston Cole, it was well in character. As this is happening, Rhaenyra is also returning from King's Landing and is finally ready to spill blood, because in her mind, it is now necessary.
There are those who have mistaken my caution for weakness.
Now, this is it. The moment we've all been waiting for. Dragon power unleashed. And thankfully, for the right side. Rhaenyra takes up the mantle. I'm ecstatic. But no. Stop. Because now Rhaenys says she'll go. And this is where I began to worry. Now, I'm not saying I definitely saw it coming. And I'm not trying to offend any Rhaenys fans. But if anyone was expendable, it's Rhaenys. So because of this, I kind of began to worry. But I thought to myself, relax. Look at the smirk on her face. She's got this. So Rhaenys arrives to Rook's Rest on Dragonback, and nostalgia hits me. I'm back to that moment where Jaime Lannister meets Daenerys Targaryen for the first time. But there's no time for nostalgia because people are burning. Then the scariest thing happens. Cole's army sounds the horn and I'm immediately stressed. I was stressed because I immediately knew what was going on. It's a trap! And even more significant, Vhagar's coming. Criston, Cole and Amond have struck genius because no one saw this coming. And I don't know if I should be excited or terrified. But sadly for them, at the moment of victory, there's a spanner in their works. And it's an Aegon-shaped spanner. This idiot is once again shooting himself in the foot. Maybe Alicent was a bit harsh, maybe, but to then go and do the exact opposite of what she advised is unbelievable. You know, sometimes with these shows, when the battle scene finally arrives, it leaves much to be desired. Although, not this one. This one was perfect. So was Amond trying to kill Aegon? That's the first question to ask. If we take the position that he wasn't, it really doesn't make sense. Because once again, Rhaenys is an expendable figure in this war. So then, sacrificing the person you intend to keep as king in order to kill her doesn't make sense. I think Amond wanted to kill Aegon. I mean, there's no logical reason behind what he did. Then we have this scene. Cole seemingly catching him trying to finish the job. Just wow. Like, I knew they had a little bit of bad blood, but this Amond is very scary. Like, I would rather have a stupid king than a cruel one. Although, sometimes one must learn the hard way that actions have consequences. If you're gonna fly into a battle with dragons, you better be ready for it. Because one mistake, you might just lose it all. But Amond vs Rhaenys on Vhagar and Meleys, the stuff of my dreams. There's three things I believe we learned from this battle. Number one, Vhagar is a force of nature. Bloody hell, this dragon is not to be messed with. Number two, Vhagar might be a force of nature, but Amond lacks the necessary experience to completely unleash her. This is why Rhaenys kept up for most of the fight. She's fought real wars. She knows what she's doing. And finally, number three, as we've been told so many times, there is no winner in a war between dragons. The death and destruction was so bad that even Criston Cole, of all people, was shocked. Although Amond and Rhaenys gave us a box office spectacle. And it could have ended there. It could have ended there, but she's a freaking Targaryen. They just don't know how to back out from a fight. And because of that, she is now dead. She is dead. And I just knew when she turned back that she was turning back to her grave. Do I think running away would have been a better decision? Yes! Yes, I do. Live to fight another day. It's just sad. It really is. The pain in Melissa's scream as Vhagar chewed through her neck. The pain Corlys and her grandchildren will feel when they hear the news. And the mess Rhaenyra is presiding over is just damning. Maybe it's good that she told Prince Jacaerys the prophecy of the Song of Ice and Fire, because who knows how many days she has left. All I'm saying is that Vhagar is going to be a big problem, literally and figuratively. What the solution is, I don't know, but death and sorrow is in the air.